Hi, I'm Wes Allen with DM Tales, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Dragonbane Bestiary. Let's roll it. As I get started, I do want to give a shout out to all my patrons. You help make this channel possible. And if you'd like to support the channel, I'd love to have you join that community, which will give you access to things like the DM Tales Discord and some paid tier content. Right now, I'm doing a series of weekly comics, and I'm going to also be making my Easy D6 Hallmark trilogy available to patrons as well. I just need to find time to actually lay it out, so it's going to happen sometime between next week and the year 2035. But the comics are definitely coming, and that's been really enjoyable for me to do. And if that's not something that you're able to do right now, I do understand. I would love for you to consider liking, subscribing, and commenting on this video and my other videos on the channel, because it really does help feed the algorithm and helps the channel grow. So if you are able to do that, I would absolutely love it. Full disclosure, I did receive a review copy of this book, but I have received no other compensation for this review. These are my free and fair thoughts. You might want to challenge that statement a bit because I am very glowing about Dragonbane. It has been my favorite new RPG in the last year or so. It really is at the top. It boasts incredible art, easy character building, terrific lore, and fast action. I have played it online, where the Foundry VTT module is about the best I've seen on that platform. I have also played it in person, where everything actually speeds up. I have run it, and I have been a PC in it. It is a great system. I cannot say enough good about it. But the only thing I wished it had more of when I reviewed the box set last year was for more creatures. And Free League took care of that this past winter with the release of the Dragonbane Beasties. Let's take a look at the contents. Now, this tome contains 63 new adversaries to throw at an unsuspecting party, which is broken up into 9 different sections, including very nice sections on both dragons and demons, which is the original Swedish name of the game. I'm not even going to attempt it in Swedish. It is Demons and Dragons. Many of these new creatures are straight up monsters. Now, this means they are dangerous. They might have a ferocity score higher than 1, which means they can take or draw more initiative cards every round of combat, which gives them more actions. Their actions also, when they are doing an attack, automatically hit, which makes them very, very dangerous. And as with all Dragonbane monsters, their actions are determined by rolling on a random table, which not only makes them dangerous, it makes them unpredictable. Encountering a monster in Dragonbane combat is a scary proposition, which is by design. Not all the entrants, however, are monsters, because a number are just NPCs who function in and out of combat by using the same types of skills the players roll for their own characters. Some of these NPCs are good with bows, some with swords or spears, and others are great at hiding. So the randomized terror of fighting a monster is replaced with the dangerous versatility of an quote-unquote ordinary creature, which makes for a nice balance. And 9 of those NPC entries can also be used by players to create a Dragonbane character. The Bestiary even includes on page 3 a new random table to choose a kin during character creation, which includes the new options. And I appreciate this type of quality of life inclusion for players who want to keep their overall Dragonbane experience the same, even as the game's world expands. So new kin for this game now includes goblins, hobgoblins, ogres, orcs, cat people, those look cool, frog people, which look really cool, Karkaron, which are flying cat people, which might be the most terrifying thing that I can conceive of, lizard people, and satyrs. It is a nice expansion, and using them all, as with everything else in this game, is optional. So it's not being forced on you as these are now official. You must allow these character classes or these character kin to be used for your table. That is not how this game works. The book also has an immersive element to it because the preface is written by a halfling naturalist named Theodora Sneezewort, which is a name I absolutely adore. She penned it as her demise was drawing near. The creatures she was studying were coming to eat her. And this makes parts of the book take on a found footage feel. Each section of the book begins with a several paragraph reflection by Theodora on the cover page. Theodora's presence is also felt in the individual listings. There's a quote which the halfling took down during an interview as she was exploring or examining one of these creatures. And then it opens with a short blurb on every creature that is written in her voice. And I love this idea because it keeps this inclusion, this immersive inclusion inside the book, but in a way that it doesn't overwhelm the game aspects of the volume, because the Theodora stuff is at the top and then all the game aspect stuff is at the bottom, and the two do not mix up at all. It's really well designed. And in addition to Theodora's blurb, each creature entry includes basic stats for the adversary in an easy-to-read table, examples for how to use the creature in a random encounter, and an adventure seed which can give ideas for centering an entire adventure around that creature for that entry. Monster entries also include a 1d6 table of attacks that a GM can unleash on their players. NPC listings, on the other hand, that expand the creature stat block to include things like creature skills, their willpower points, armor, and the typical weapons that they would use. A number of the kin will also present variants for that kin's culture, such as mage, scout, warrior, or merchant. And these help expand the personality displayed by the communities of the more rare kin. I appreciate their inclusion. Entries which are able to be used as a PC kin are also include their special kin ability, which is listed in a callout, along with the willpower point cost in order to activate them. All in all, it's a very nice mix of material for monsters, for NPCs, and then for player stuff, showing them new possibilities to use in the game. Very nice amount of content in the book. The Bestiary is a full-size book. It is printed on 8.5 by 11 sheets. It's both hardbound and boasts stitched binding, so it lays open with ease. With the back material, including a clean index, the total page count of the volume is 150 pages, but much to my disappointment, the tome does not boast a book ribbon, and that might be my only knock on the product. If it had it, it would be perfect marks, just about. Because the book is printed on flat paper, which accomplishes two things. First, it provides a dramatic reduction in glare, which I absolutely love, because I can read this book in just about any lighting condition without feeling like I have blind spots where the glare is shorting out my retinas. Second, it allows the subtle texture on the printed page, which is a subtle parchment that fades as it enters into the reading area. It helps it blend in without being so obtrusive. A lot of times when you have the type of background texture printed on a page on a glossy paper, it just shouts at you and you can't really differentiate it between the background and the text that you're actually trying to read. Here on flat paper, it works perfectly. Now, the most shocking aspect of holding the product, however, is how light it feels in the hand. This is not a cheap product. The cover's sturdy, the paperweight is excellent. I am not worried about tearing it or creasing it through normal use. But when I compare it to other books of similar size and page count, it is lighter. Now, I'm willing to hazard a guess that the flat paper actually weighs less than the glossy paper, but I have not confirmed that suspicion. I'm going to have to go check that out. This may be the most beautiful monster book I've ever read. The presentation begins with a dramatic in-universe confrontation created by Johan Egerkrans, and I know I butchered that name, and I'm so sorry to all Swedish speakers who are going to be freaking out about that, but the depiction is between an adventurer and a lindworm, which is one of the creatures that is in the book. This is a perfect tone setter for the volume and prepares the reader for what's to come. The individual creature boasts the same colored pencil feel as the previous books for Dragonbane. Now, this makes sense, as a note on the product listing lets the reader know that much of the artwork in the book actually came from the 2016 Swedish printing of the game when it was Dragons and Demons or Demons and Dragons. I always get those two flipped up. Dragonbane is the first time that this system has been released in English, so I'm appreciative of the way that Free League is making an effort to keep this game linked to its legacy, even while they expand it, because not all the artwork is the older stuff. They have created new things for the book. The detail in each piece of the artwork in the book is stunning. There is movement and size and motion and wonder and danger. All those things can be experienced through the artwork in this book. And the style is a perfect complement to the overall design of both the book and the Dragonbane system itself. The interior design language is the same as the Dragonbane rulebook and the box set. The header and footer decorations, as well as the borders for the call-out boxes, they all look as though they've been carved out of jade. They are beautiful. And if my information is correct, these elements were actually hand-drawn, and the care and the quality in them shows. Call-out boxes are actually set in a faux parchment, complete with ripped edges, and when it's combined with the hand-drawn elements which adorn each of the page, it's just this perfect pairing. Everything works together in the page design itself. So flipping through the pages of these books presents a reader with this visually tactile experience, because all the elements pop off the page and they are seen and visible and they draw the reader in, but they're not distracting. That's a really good skill to have in page design. So I'm a huge fan of Dragonbane's design language in general. The Bestiary printed on flat paper just takes it to a whole nother notch. It is stunning. Love it. Now, as I said in the opening, you might listen to this review and think that these are not so free and fair thoughts because it is so glowing that I have to be the shill. I have purchased this game, by the way. And this book, this Dragonbane Beasties, is the perfect expansion for the core Dragonbane set. The variety of the monsters, the expansion of playable kin, and just the sheer beauty of the volume makes it a must-buy. And at the time of this writing, the Dragonbane Beasties can be purchased through Free League's website for $41.80. That is a steal for a book of this quality. And yes, I have one that's been given to me as a review copy, and I will be buying another copy for myself at some time in the near future. It is that good. If you play Dragonbane and you don't have the Bestiary yet, this is something you really should put on your wish list as soon as you can. So coming up, I have got a lot in the works. Shadow Dark is ready to be reviewed. The Origin is ready to be reviewed. I am reading Household, which is almost ready to be reviewed. I have played Raccoon Sky Pirates, and I would love to go over that with you on the channel, as well as a bunch of other things that are coming. I'm doing some changing of my equipment in the next couple of weeks, and I hope to show you the progression of how I've done this channel from start all the way to the present. So a lot coming up in the channel, and I am looking forward to sharing it with all of you. So until we see each other again, folks, happy playing, everyone.